They came to a person and said, what a team and what a team spirit you guys have. I wish we had the facilities. I wish we do the things that you do at the beginning of the meet. I wish we had the excitement from people who aren't even on the team and the crowds. If we could do it, if there was more room there, I guarantee you we would pack it all night in and night out. It's an exciting group and they do a great job. So it was real nice as the coach to be able to get those accolades, and I wanted you to hear it. For the girls, honorable mention in 100 backstroke, Casey Aon. Honorable mention, and actually one of the coaches wanted to make sure that this particular gentleman goes 9-3 and undefeated after the holidays. To have one guy says a lot about the whole team, and when we have one guy make all conference, it says a lot about all of the other boys and how hard they had to work. But certainly kudos to our one man, Sean Thornton. His team all conference, 100 breaststroke. This weekend, I'm going to cheat. Rich Benavides, he asked me to swear not to say anything about the All County team, but I'm going to cheat. There were quite a number of honors for us in the All County team, and since we're together and we're celebrating now, I think it's important that we all hear the All County team, because having won the county championship, he felt it necessary to honor us in all those ways. And certainly if you look in the packet, we are the first team in county history to win all 3 relays, the 200 medley, the 200 freestyle, and the 400 relay. And so that means all of those girls were awarded all county status for winning those relays. Congratulations, it's an excellent job. Well, before I get to that, let me give a couple of honors out first. First of all, I want to recognize one of our only statisticians that are here tonight. I want to recognize Stephanie Alprin. Where's Stephanie hiding? Stephanie's back there in a beautiful red sweater. Stephanie was very enthusiastic about coming to help us time and be a part of the Swimming Chiefs, and she was a real good part of it, because her smiling face behind the block, even when I would get anxious and mad and tell her that we messed up the time, but she still smiled and she made me feel good. So thank you, Stephanie, for coming. And then our top 16, the winners down at the Meet of Champions, the states, however somebody wants to call it, we get a state top 16 award. It's been in the paper and everyone knows about it, but certainly in front of our friends, it's always nice to hear it again. Coming in 15th place, Brianna Stillo.
Sorry, junior. Now we're on the junior. Sorry. Matt McNish. Peter Nichols. Julian Rivera. And Scott Zidler.
About how they could go about having a swim team at the high school. And a few of the parents were very diligent and pushed very hard and showed the merits of having a swim team. And one particular gentleman, Mr. Peter Buechner, was instrumental in having me named as head coach. And I've always thanked him in my heart, because this is one of the greatest opportunities I've had, and it's one of the great things that I do all year long in my school year, is to get to coach these 40 to 50 young swimmers each year. And I wanted to honor Peter. I wanted to make sure that every year the best new swimmer. That swimmer that showed some new talents was given an award in Peter's honor. That those swimmers that may not have been a club swimmer before, or they represents the force and determination which Mr. Peter Buchner exhibited as the driving force in the foundation of the James Cole High School swim team. And with us each year and help us present this award is Miss Barbara Buchner.
A great season. I'm so shocked to realize that it's 9 years. But I think, that Peter Buchner was probably a pretty wise man. He had the best wife and Okay. This award was started, I guess, 4 years ago. And the first, Casey Aon and Matt Roselli were the first two to receive the award. What I'd like to start this year, and I haven't quite gotten in sync with the high school, but I'd like to start giving a scholarship to any of the awardees who remain as swimmers and graduate as swimmers. So I'd like to call Matt Roselli and Casey Aon. Just know that Peter would be very proud of this swim team. He did a great job this year. And again, I'm just happy to be with everyone. This year's awardees is Amanda Yenley.
Feel like a championship team, whether or not we raise a trophy or not. With the myriad of events that we do throughout the year, the support that the parents give us, and anytime we ask for something, they respond. And they respond in a way that we've come to expect swimming parents to help us. Tonight, later, you'll see the slideshow done by Danny and Robbie Roselli. I know they worked very, very hard at the late hours last night. Refreshments throughout the year. Refreshments throughout the year by Karen Schilling and Donna Thornton. Membership committee, Judy Tracy. I can't do everything justice. I can't bring out all of the wonderful situations that occurred. But I can tell all the parents in here that I was in a very special place. I was very, very lucky because I got to be the coach and the parent. And I got to see the teenagers in our lives act in just a normal, everyday way and got to see them interact with each other. I get that every day in high school, but I'm kind of the pariah as I walk around the hallways. But when I'm within the school, when I'm within the team, and all the championships, and all the celebrations, and the little laughters, and the quiet jokes, and the kidding around on the bus, there's so many things that I was privy to that I wish you could have been there for. Because your children are fantastic. I don't know a better adjective. Let me tell you. They are respected. They are respected wherever they go because they act like a team. They are respected at home meets because of the togetherness. I know that I was privy to, during the Montville meet, I think I heard a couple of seniors talk about seniors that they do on Montville and say something to the effect of, "You guys are chief crazy here. There's chief symbols everywhere." Well, you know what? We are chief crazy. Because to be a chief is a lot more to me, and I pass that on to every one of you. And you've exemplified that in every meet that we go to. And that's the thing that I was proudest of as a parent, and that you should have seen and you should be part of, parents, because you've instilled those values. So, summarize championships, summarize the things that we did, that's tough. But I think the number one summary that I have to go through is us, and how we acted, how you acted, and how we came together in this season of 07-08. It really all started last spring. Last spring I brought in the 8th graders to be, or the 9th graders to be. They were all little 8th graders at that time. And they all came to the reception real wide-eyed and a little fearful of what the high school was going to bring for them. And, you know, I knew people like Kat, Renisa, and Tommy, and Tabitha, and Brittany, and Katie, and Nicole. You know, I knew of them from growing up with my daughter and seeing them in town at Dolphin meets. And I was really excited, very excited by what we could see coming up at the high school. But I have to point out 2 newbies that were incredible this year, and that was Tierney and AJ right there, man. The girls left and went into the holidays with some lofty goals. They wanted to win championships. They knew coming out of the holidays they had those championships in front of them, whereas the boys set a goal of being undefeated after the holidays. You know, I truly feel that the boys' goal of going undefeated was a lot tougher. It was a lot tougher for them because they didn't have that one accent swimmer to look to that I could place in any single event as we've had in the past. We didn't have that one guy. We had to do it as 17 guys together in every single meet that they went through. So their steps to getting their goals were a lot tougher. And all these steps happened incrementally as we went along. The girls, right after the holidays, garnered their 3rd county championship in 4 years. That's very impressive throughout the county, and everybody knows Caldwell exists. Whereas the boys took 5th that day, but there were dozens of personal bests that day. And it just started. All of the boys just started to finally feel that they could perform. The second step, while the girls went out and proved that they were the first, or they performed as the first public school to ever win the Northern Hills Conference tournament, the boys, not to be undone, the boys went out and took 3rd place in a very strong field and finished 3rd to Del Barton and to Montville. Now, okay, 3rd. You're going to say, well, big deal. They finished 3rd. Well, we got on the bus, and it was time to give out the awards. And I stood on the bus and I said, well, we got 1 medal, and we had 1 second place. Correct, Sean? Am I right? Yeah. 1 second place to give to Sean. And yet we were able to garner enough points. We were able to muster all of the outside lanes and finish a strong 3rd ahead of a McCormick team that was very disappointed that they didn't pass us and take 3rd place. And that's what I mean about how the championships and the goals were a lot harder for the boys. And finally, the 3rd step, the last step that went on for the girls, was to trample St. E's. That was on our calendar for a long time because it was supposed to be December 22nd, and it got pushed away, and it went on to February 8th. And we saw that thing standing there for month after month. And we knew that was the day on our calendar because we had taken care of the Mount. No problem there. But we had St. E's on our mind, and we had to get through the other meets. The girls were winning meets by 60, 70 points, but St. E's loomed. Well, we went out and we trampled St. E's that day, and we took care of them by a very by a very large margin. Whereas the boys' goal of remaining undefeated came true in that final meet where they finished after the holidays 7-0. I couldn't be happier as a coach. I had championships. I had boys meeting their goals. I had 2 teams ready for February. and here come the states. For the 8th season in a row, out of only being around 9 years, the boys qualified for the states. And it's not an easy task to do that because there's 19 teams that can put in for these states, and only 8 of them made it. And we made it this year against Chatham. And the girls qualified also and made it to the state sectional final. So our goals have been met. We certainly did a lot of good things. And now it's time for the playoffs. Well, I thought I'd share a little bit of the Chatham story. Because some of the parents, I don't know, they might be a little miffed that we were having such a good time. I don't know if the boys shared it with you, and the girls also. So we kind of knew it was kind of fait accompli. When you know your times and you know their times, you certainly knew that we were going in to get a booty kicking. But we knew we made the states, and we were happy about that. So we were going to go in a little deranged, and we were going to laugh at everything. We were going to go in and be happy, and no matter what swim occurred, we were going to go in and be happy that we were performing and happy we were there. And so maybe some of the other parents on our side, they're on the other side, go, why are the boys laughing? They didn't kill by 60 points. They're not even in the race. They're nowhere to be found. And we're laughing. We're having a great time. We had to. I mean, we had to laugh because we had done everything we could accomplish. And in swimming, it's times and times. And it wasn't like there was some miracle comeback from Harry and Jeff and John and everyone was coming back. It was us. And so we spent that last meet together. We had a good time. The girls went out and beat New Providence, as they should have. And then we had to revisit that little technique again with Chatham. And we went back to the same pool, and I had the same booty kicking, and we still had fun. We were still together. We still laughed. And they go, just the first floor? And we go, no, it's the third. No, get your foot back in there. Oh, my God. It was tremendous. Woke me up in the morning. Poor guy. So, that's our weekend to be a champion. Oh, yeah, by the way, Court got 5th and 6th, and Bree got 15th. But it was an unbelievable way to end it, have some excitement. Some overall, in our 9 years, and I only mention this because of the next stat, over the 9 years, we're 73 and 40 overall. But the boys have accounted for nearly half of those victories in their 4 years at 35 and 14 in their last 4 years. They've won a conference championship, they've qualified for the states 4 times, and they actually went to the state semifinals 1 time. It's quite an accomplishment for these seniors, it's something they can remember. So I congratulate all of the boys for all they've done. First boy I'd like to talk about, come on up here, Michael. Michael Holler.